The name of the business is Christmas Palace.
Is there anybody that competes with you?
I never thought I would ever live a day without drinking.
Maybe you can get the team to buy into the vision. You guys can do something special with what you have.
Put Christmas Palace certified on it. It made me take it off and I started up my own company. All Seasons Decor and Install.
So how does the lighting shit you do work? This is not a podcast, it's me asking.
No, I know. I figured a lease. Everything's a lease because when I first started, I would sell the product to them, and then after a year or 2 years, it starts going bad, and then it's like you got to charge them for replacement strands, and then that back and forth. They all think that the lights are gonna last forever, and then once I started getting more into commercial, then I started realizing everything needs to just be a lease.
Yeah, did you guys always do that, or
yeah, what?
Like the light install was always that part of the business going all the way back, or
No, I started it like 11 years ago.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I used to work in the LED showroom when we first started LED or Us, and a contractor came in, said, "Hey, do you guys do Christmas lights?" Because he knew it was the same ownership, sister company. And I was like, yeah, we do Christmas lights. Never put up a Christmas light in my life. When I was a kid, my parents would have a couple employees come by the house and put some decorative stuff up. And I went, did a quote. The lady said, yeah, made decent money, really good money. And I was like, holy cow, this is a business. Yeah. And that was it. I started going after everybody from there.
Yeah. And how'd you give the quote? Did you know how to price it out? Did you just come up with numbers out of your ass?
Come up with numbers. I ran up to my dad when I first got that first lead, and I was like, hey, and my dad's like a mathematician. So I was like, if he could probably figure this out. Stupid, it's funny. I walk up to him like, hey, I got this big lead. It's a lady in Noseke Island, and she wants to put lights on palm trees. The lights are 50 feet. The palm trees are 25 feet tall. They're 1.5 feet, 2 feet wide. How many lights do you think I'm gonna need? He starts blinking his eyes, trying to think. Starts trying to think of how. Yeah, he's trying to do the mental math, and I'm like, and he's like, looks at me, and he's like, dude, take a strand, go out to a tree, and test it. And I was like, duh. I fucking went outside. I put it on the thing, and I quoted her way too many light strands. Quoted her for a lift, and 2 days before the job was supposed to take place, I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't measure the side of the house. I don't know if that lift's gonna fit. So I charged her like $2,200 for the lift. Ran over. I was like, hey, I need to go by and just make sure something, whatever. Ran to the house and realized the lift's not gonna fit. Rented a scaffold for like $150 and left that lift rental for $2,200. I made like $4,200 in one day. Paid my brother like $1,000. I was like, yo, come help me, dog. I don't know what I'm doing. And paid two other guys $400. And I still ended up making like $4,000.
Fire.
Yeah, obviously, if I quoted people like that till this day, I would not get a lot of jobs.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a business.
So, but if that lady was still alive, I'd do her house for free because she gave me the opportunity and opened up the door for me, basically.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then I just started going out, and then I thought, all right, I'm going to make flyers. And I made flyers, and I put Christmas Palace certified on it. And I was super excited. Yo, Dad, check this out. I made these flyers. He fucking blew a gasket. He's like, I don't want my name on that. That's a liability. You're going to light a house on fire, and we sell the contractor, we sell the installers. They're not going to buy from us no more. And I was like, okay, cool. He made me take it off, and I started up my own company, All Seasons Decor and Install.
Yo, I lied to you, by the way.
What?
We've been in the podcast.
Nah, you're lying.
I was lying to you. Yeah, it's a real story. You see how natural you were?
Yeah.
So is that, what was the company called?
All Seasons Decor and Install.
Got it. Okay, cool. All right, so we'll pause there and then kind of circle back, and then we'll meet here again so you can walk me through the rest of the story.
Got you.
But, Brandon, walk me through your childhood real quick, and that you don't have to get too in-depth. Just where were you born, raised, school?
Born in Hialeah, raised in Pembroke Pines, Florida.
Nice.
I went to quite a few schools. I went to St. Mark's Catholic School, then I went to Panther Run Elementary, Silver Trail for middle school, Archbishop McCarthy for high school, and then got kicked out of there and went to West Broward Public School.
I was about to ask you.
Yeah, I got kicked out.
Was it because you were getting kicked out, or you were?
Yeah. What was it that they said? You're dismissed from Archbishop McCarthy. I was like, dismissed? What does that mean? You're kicked out.
Can't come back.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. And then I ended up going to West Broward High School.
Right. I've met your pops. You could have been happy that you were getting kicked out of school.
No, so my mother always took care of all my childhood, school,
That makes sense.
And I'll never forget it. When I was asked to leave, kicked out, I was sitting in the office, and I was like, shit, oh man, I'm gonna get in trouble, whatever. And the door opens, and I look to the left, and I just see the shoes, my dad's shoes, slowly go up, and I'm like, oh hell no. Shit. And he was there to pick me up. She's like, I ain't picking him up alone, so meet me there, and you're gonna go in there with me. And I wasn't scared of my mom. I wasn't really scared of my dad that much, but because my mom was really the one that like took care of everything for my needs as a child.
Yeah,
my dad was more of like the businessman.
I get the feeling there. It was the same thing at my house, and so my dad never cared about my school from the standpoint that he'll be like, just talk to mom.
Yeah.
And one day I was knocked out, and in math class or something, I hear the teacher, hey, Papa Joseph Gonzalez. I'm like, hey, Papa, wait, hold on. Call my mom, bro. What the hell you calling my dad? But funny enough, my pop's answer was, yo, I'm working. Well, that was a construction company. His man, the hot ass son. He's like, oh, fuck this. I'm working. Call his mom and make an appointment. And that was the end of that. But yeah, I had a similar dynamic in my family that where like I was more afraid of my dad. I don't even know why, because honestly, he wasn't even like involved in the day to day like that. Like he was always working and providing, and we lived a good life coming up, but never like if I had bad grades or if
your mom take care of it.
The one bitching and kicking and begging me to not skip school was my mom. I would just repeat what my mom said. I'm sure at some point she'll call him and be like, "Hey, can you tell him to please go to school?" And he'll call me like, "Hey, your mom says to go to school." But
did you have a sister?
I have a younger sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
She plays sports, so that kind of saved her behavioral issues when it comes to getting good grades.
Yeah.
But she was actually worse than me because I never had I didn't do bad stuff. I just didn't like school.
Yeah.
So my shit was all skipping. I wouldn't go to class. I had a car. I'd pull up in the morning, pick up my boys, and go to his crib and just chill, smoke, play PlayStation. And my sister, on the other hand, had good grades because she was in sports. But bro, she got caught smoking weed. She got caught for this and got in a fight over there. And it was always that was ship her to Panama, bro. And it's not the Panama where you got engaged. My sister spent 2 summers in fucking the middle of nowhere in Panama with my grandparents. But like not where we grew up. My grandparents have fincas and shit. Like they don't have TV fucking signal and that shit. Like fucking picking up mangoes from the trees and shit with my grandma because my mom was concerned that she's going down a bad path.
Yeah. I had 2 big brothers, so they kind of paved the way for me. My brothers they're twins.
Yeah.
And a single mother raising 3 boys. Yeah. And 2 of them being twins, 1 4 years younger. So they kind of like broke the ice for everything for me. So like when I would do bad things, it was kind of like all right, we're already like this is good compared to what your brothers used to do.
And it's not that first time shock of like you did what? Like
she had 2 of them, and my brothers actually went to a boarding school in New York, right across from Canada, and they actually made a documentary on Ivy Ridge Academy. They made a documentary.
That's really dope.
Yeah, if you watch it on Netflix, you'll be like, your brothers went there. It was worse than prison. And my brothers went there. So when they came back, so I was like always like a straight A student, baseball player, gonna make it to the league. Mom, I got you. I'm gonna take care of you, And when they left for 6 months and I lost them, and I was home alone, when they came back, it was like, I'm not gonna rat on you guys anymore. Just bring me with you. So then that's when my behavioral stuff started declining, and I smoked weed. And,
how much older than you are they?
4 years. So I smoked weed at a very early age because I wanted to fit in. I didn't want them to. I wanted to get along with them. I just lost them for 7 months. So they were the reason that they went to boarding. I was basically the reason they went to boarding school. So
you snitch on them or something?
I would snitch on them left and right because they wouldn't let me go with them. So then I would follow them and then be like, "Hey, Mom, I saw them in the corner of a house and they said they had a friend named Bubbles. It was a bong." Shit like that. And then one day my dad would take me Christmas shopping for them, and then he would take them Christmas shopping for me. So we're like putting a whole bunch of stuff on the counter for them, clothes, and the lady at the register at Macy's or whatever is like, "Oh, these kids must be really good kids." I was like, "Yeah, right." And she's like, "Oh, really? You should check this school out. I went there and it changed my life." And my dad's like, "Oh yeah, let me get the information."
No fucking way.
And then sure enough, the idea was introduced and they were shipped away. But when I lost them, I was like, "Nah, man. Like those are my big brothers. Like, yeah, we fight and they're mean to me. Call me fat boy. You're gonna roll to first base. You're gonna this and that." But
they're your brothers, of course.
Yeah, they always have my back.
So you said single moms, so your parents weren't together, I would imagine.
No, they just split when I was 7.
Got it. Okay, so what point, like when you were growing up, were you involved at all? Like, would you go to your dad's business? Would you be around it? How did the dynamic work? Because you lived with your mom.
Father always had every other weekend. So then during Christmas season, it was like, all right, we're at the store. We only had one location. So we'd always be at the store, and then, I'm bored. I want to make money. So I learned how to do inventory at like 10, 11 years old behind the ribbon department. Count these ribbons, write the number down, the quantity, and fill out the sheet, and started learning a little bit about business. And So at like 10, 11 years old was the first time that I got paid like $10 for the day. And I did inventory and learned what inventory was about.
Yeah, it's fire. Yeah, that's beautiful. I mean, I grew up in my grandparents' business, a similar deal. Though, I mean, it was a grocery store, but the biggest grocery store in the town. So big that he ended up losing it because he over leveraged on real estate. But besides the point, I would do a lot of like BS jobs. Like, inventory is actually far more important than what I did.
Yeah.
But it taught me the principle of like working for money and being around businesses that I took that with me forever.
And the purposes and stuff.
100%. So 10, 11, you start having more for money, which is natural at that age. You start understanding what money is. Throughout high school, you're doing bad. Are you working the summers with your pops? Are you just doing your own thing?
Well, since it's a seasonal business, like early in the summer, at least back then, especially, we didn't have as different avenues and different, contracts.
It was seasonal.
So it was truly seasonal. So during the season, I'd go on the weekends and I'd work and, I'd stock the floors, I'd price the merchandise, I'd be a cashier. I loved being a cashier.
For the record, can you just state the name of the business? Because we skipped that part.
The name of the business is the Christmas Palace.
Got it. Been around for 34 years.
34 years, Hialeah, homegrown, and we have another location in Fort Lauderdale.
Fire. All right, so you're helping out when you wanted to play ball, right? So I'm assuming like a lot of kids that play ball, that's your main thing.
I quit.
Until eventually it's not.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So I played baseball, travel ball all through like my childhood and middle school, and then my brothers were declining in their behavior and their academics, so they stopped playing baseball, and then I saw them just hanging out with their friends and doing things that were not productive. So I kind of followed them. I always followed their route.
Gotcha.
So then I quit baseball at a very young age. And then in high school, I would dabble at the idea of I'm going to go play baseball again. And by the time I decided that I want to play baseball again, it was a senior year.
Yeah. And the ship sailed.
Yeah, ship sailed.
So I guess my question is, did you know what you wanted to do growing up? Was it always I want to have a business, or did you want to go to college? Did you go to college?
So I went to Valencia for about half a semester, and I was like in Orlando. And I was like, man, I hate school. So
Valencia College?
Valencia, yeah, it's a community college in Orlando. Yeah, me and my brothers, we fought a lot. So it's like, man, I got to get out of here. So I went over to Orlando. I had a couple friends going over there. One of my best friends was going over there. My roommate was a good friend of mine. We're still friends, but a good friend of mine at the time. He's like, I'm going to go to some art school over there. So I was like, let's ride. I'll go to Valencia, and then I'll transfer into UCF. After like a semester, I was like, man, I don't want to do this. And as like what you asked, growing up, I never really, for me, it was like, I'm going to work with my father, and I was kind of naive, not knowing, like the Christmas business at that time couldn't provide the life that I wanted.
Right.
So for me, him, and, so without growth. So, but for me, being naive, being a, foolish kid, I'm going to work with my father and we'll build it and we'll do this and that. That was always kind of like my vision. I'm going to work with my dad.
So you had it. So your relationship with him was good overall, obviously, because
and I've always known my father was a very good businessman. Yeah. So, to keep a Christmas business around for 34 years, and at the time when I started working with him, he was on, 22 years. Yeah. He had to know some sort of business.
For sure. Yeah.
So my vision was kind of like, I hated school, didn't know what I wanted to do. So I was like, it's kind of like a lazy mentality, very not
the family business.
Not ambitious at all, and just. I look back at it, I'm like, man, I was a young, dumb kid. Okay. But, kids are all...
We all go through it, bro.
Yeah, immature, and have no idea about real life until real life hits them.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that people ask me sometimes if I could go back and do something different. I'm like, bro, I don't even know what I would do different. Like, I feel like everybody's meant to go through their own way, their own path, and their own journey, you know what I mean?
100%.
So you came back from college, you did it for a semester, you didn't like school. Did you ever work jobs outside? Like, did you try applying for jobs that had nothing to do with your dad, or was it like straight to the store and let me just help him out and see how we could grow?
So when I lived in Orlando, I don't know if I should put this on the record, but I liked...
You can strike it out of the record.
Yeah, we'll strike it out. So I really liked smoking a lot of weed when I was a young kid, which made me lazy.
That's your limitation.
Yeah.
That very good.
Yeah. Not the image I want out there, but I smoked a lot of weed and I love smoking weed.
Well, hold on, before you continue, do you smoke now?
No.
Do you drink now?
Nope. I've been sober for 3 years.
Congratulations. I knew that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to congratulate you on the record.
Thank you.
That we should have on the record.
Yeah, I hit 3 years last Wednesday. And,
good for you, bro.
Yeah, so I like...
So go on the record and talking all your shit, because you overcame it, bro, and that's what matters. And you could inspire others that might be going through the same thing that you went through.
No, I never... A couple years ago, 5 years ago, especially, I never thought I would ever live a day without, not a day, but live my life without drinking. Yeah. But I realized that I don't know how to drink normal, and I love drinking, and I like altering my sobriety. Yeah. And it comes down to facing, the things that you're running from, So
good for you, bro.
As soon as you face it and you learn whatever's causing those feelings and you master, dealing with those feelings, life's way better on the other side. So definitely blessed to learn it at a young age. I mean, I was 29 when I decided that. I'm 32 now. So there's a lot of individuals out there that don't figure it out that early and figure it out a lot later in life. And
it can cost you a lot, bro. So.
And it costs a lot. Yeah.
So yeah, you're totally allowed to talk about how you were smoking weed in college.
Yeah. So yeah, I was smoking a lot of weed in college. Shit, bro. Yeah. So, and then I was like, oh man, I always, again, I have addictive personality, right? Mm-hmm. If I like working and making money, I'm going to be all in. If I like smoking, I like to smoke. If I like drinking, I like to drink. It's just whatever I love, and I want to do it all the time. I learned how to play chess like 2 weeks ago. I play like 10 games a day. So when I wake up in the morning, I exercise my brain with chess, and at night I play a couple games and go to sleep. So if I like something, I'm all in. So I wanted to work at a smoke shop, sell bongs. It was hand in hand. I love smoking weed and I sell bongs.
You're in the biz.
So I applied for a job, and then by the time that they accepted it, I was like, I'm out of here. I'm leaving Orlando. So then I came back, and then this probably should definitely not be on the record, but we can cut it if we want. I sold a lot of weed. Started selling weed.
Also past the statute of limitations.
Yeah, so I was selling.
Still cut it if you want, but
yeah, I was selling like half a pound a week and making $1,500. And dude, in 2014, 2013, I was making $1,500 a week cash.
Fire, bro. That age, you're 22 years old.
Yeah, and I've always been like a big saver, especially back then. And then it came down to, you gotta get a real job. Yeah.
So was it a moment that just hit you? Did you have a scare of some sort? Like, you know what I mean? Because there's always that breaking point where it's like,
how triple do I want to
life stares you in the face, dog, and you're like, all right, I gotta make a decision here.
Well,
you don't have to maybe go too much into detail.
Yeah, we can cut it later if anything, but basically, I knew on paper I had to show some type of income. I wanted to buy, so I wanted to buy a house eventually. I wanted to get married and things like that. So
you wanted to legitimize your life.
And my mother, my brothers that showed me, not the best path at times. Mm-hmm. Not their fault. I make my own decisions, and I made bad decisions. And should have been my own person as a young kid. But my brothers, I thought like, oh yeah, like we're very similar. It's three boys, and I didn't think they would care. I'd be like, oh, I'm doing this, that, and the other. Dude, they snitched on me so fast. So fast.
You want to know what that is, right?
It was that.
They went to boarding school. They got us payback.
Yeah, no, but they came back from boarding school and declined before.
Doesn't matter. They still lived for 6 months exactly. and that fucking, they didn't forget that.
So they ratted on me and...
Yeah, I wasn't saying because they're good boys now. I'm saying you made them live through hell.
I've done to them,
for 6-7 months. They're like, oh.
So they ratted on me, and my mother was just like, that's it. Like, you're going to get it. I kept doing it for a little bit. I kept doing it for probably like a year, but then I had to go through, it was a lot tougher, I had to meet people at different places, whatever. So I kept doing it. And then she's like, you're going to go work for your father. And I was just like, I don't need to work for my father. Like, let me figure it out. I didn't want to go work for my father at that time. Even though when I was a kid, that was my vision. But I was smoking weed.
More rebellious at that age.
I didn't know what I wanted. I was just in a bad place or whatever. So then she's like, you're going to go, or you're getting out of this house. And I was just like, all right, shit. All right, fine. So I went to work with my dad, and I started working in the containers. In June, July, we start receiving containers to for the merchandise that comes in annually, like for the season. And that's where I started. And I started receiving containers, storing them in the warehouse, working, no shirt on, sweat, 120-degree containers. And that's where it started.
And I love that.
Yeah, and then basically what happened was my brother had just graduated from college, and my father and him came across an idea of starting an LED business. So they started LED R Us, which started in 2014. And
what is LED R Us exactly?
LED R Us is a distributor of LED lighting brands.
Only Christmas related stuff or any type of lights?
No, any type of lights, commercial, residential, you know, any type of light. So we distribute.
I've seen that, just I'm not sure what it is.
Yeah, about 100 and I think we distribute about 150, 160 brands right now that we're at. Nice. So LED or Us was starting, and then I moved over after Christmas season. Then I kept working, and then I went to LED or Us. I knew how to work a warehouse, so then I started receiving and was in charge of the LED warehouse. It was smaller at that time, so it was a one-person job. And the technology was new, so I started learning about lighting and and then we had somebody in the showroom that would make sales to contractors and stuff like that. Then we learned the hard way that LED lighting, like, you know, Publix sells a Publix brand. Yeah. Well, in the lighting industry, it doesn't work like that. You sell a real brand, not your brand. Right. So in the beginning, we were bringing in lights under LED or Us, and just wasn't. That's not how So then we started up our own brand, Luminoso LED. So then the person running the showroom, which is a very good friend of ours growing up, me and him got into a lot of trouble when we were kids. He was my brother's age, but he was like my best friend too. So he was going to man Luminoso. So then they had to throw me into the showroom. And I did not speak Spanish that well at all. I understood it, but I didn't speak it at all. And I was like, oh man, I don't like speaking Spanish. So I got thrown into the showroom. And I was making like $10, $11 an hour, 3% commission. So then I started selling, getting laughed at every day for my Spanish. And eventually I started, you know, selling $100,000 a month, $150,000 a month. And my commission checks are $4,000, $5,000 a month. Plus my salary, which was basic, but still, yeah. So next thing you know, I'm making like, you know, $5,000, $6,000 a month. And then that's where my retirement of selling Mary J. ended, because it was like, dude, I'm making this type of money over here. I don't need to do that no more.
Yeah, you place your income.
And then from there is when I got the, and this was in 2014, 2015. So LED or Us was very new. Christmas Palace had its second location in Fort Lauderdale, strictly retail based. And then, as I said, a contractor came into the showroom and said, "Do you guys do Christmas lights?" I said, "Yeah."
Of the install company.
And then that's where I started getting really more involved, and I was very money hungry. So I would do anything and wanted to improve the businesses, and that's where I kind of like matured. So the immaturity started fading away, and it was just all about being ambitious, and I need to make more money, and I need to do more, I need to do more. And that's where I kind of started implanting myself into the companies and my roles.
Now we're caught up to where we were before we went back. Yeah. So what's the name of your company again? The light install company?
At the time, it was All Seasons Decor and Install.
Who comes up with these names, bro? Because they're all good. No, I'm a marketing guy, and like these, all of them are very like Christmas Palace.
So the Christmas Palace, so the Christmas Palace is a DBA of All Seasons Imports. So for me, it was like All Seasons Imports. I grew up with that name, watching my father in business. Yeah. So I took All Seasons, and I figured, well, if it's lighting, I could do lighting year round. So All Seasons Decor and Install. Yeah. So it kind of like, so it wouldn't just be limited to a Christmas lighting business.
Right.
So I already had like a name kind of in front of me. I just changed the last couple words of it.
Got it. And you said that's no longer the name. Are you guys operating under Christmas Palace now, or?
So
like, before you tell me that story, let's walk me through where you said you had to take the Christmas Palace like logo off.
Yeah. So I made these flyers, and I thought my father would be like, you know, oh, good job, you know, like
you're showing initiative.
You're gonna do something on the side, and you want to make more money. You're being, you know, you're ambitious and whatever. So I showed him the Christmas Palace certified, I think it said. It was a stamp. And he's like, "Are you crazy? Take that off. I don't want my name on that. You're going to light your house on fire, blah, 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 blah. And the liability and people on lives and da-da-da-da." And I was just like, okay, I'll take it off. No worries. Took it off. And he didn't want me to do that. He's like, "That's moonlighting." I was like, "What the hell's moonlighting?" So I was like, "It's not moonlighting. I do this after work. You're not in this business. Yeah. Like you don't do installs. You don't want no part of installs."
Right.
So it's not like, I mean, I didn't think it was moonlighting at the time. It kind of is, but so then
conflict of interest.
Yeah. So then I would behind his back, I had my cards, and I'd go to the light department and let whoever was in charge of the light department know, "Hey, if anybody asks for like or doing lights, hand them this card." And started getting a couple more calls, and whatever. I started, and then our LED business had good ins because it's commercial based. I mean, we have a retail operation for mostly contractors.
That's just a showroom more than
so it's more of a showroom. Yeah. So it's not really like, you know, residential. Although we sell to them, and where we're open to doing business with residential clients. But so then a sales rep had an in. We only had one sales rep at that time. He had an in with Westland Mall, and I quoted it, got the job. That was my first commercial job. And then after like, I don't know, the first year that I was doing it like on the side, I did like, I don't know, $30,000. Next year I did $60,000, and I just doubled for like 5 or 6 years. I doubled 60, 120, 240, 500. And right around the time where I got to like 500, it's like 5 something, whatever it was at that time. I was like, dude, I'm growing this thing like crazy. I was, I had my own payroll. We were young at that time. So, guys that were in college and things like that, like they were available to go help do quick gigs like that. So, then I approached my father and I said, if I'm getting to $500,000 in a couple of years with all seasons decor and install who nobody knows, imagine what I could do if I had the Christmas Palace name. That's a staple in the community, been around at that time, I don't know, 22, 23 years. I said, with that name, like, it's powerful, and he saw that everything was being ran correctly. I started renting boom lifts. Yeah. I had my own insurance. It wasn't like I was just running and gunning.
It wasn't.
It was a
legit operation.
Yeah, so he saw I had payroll insurance. People wore harnesses. He saw the numbers, and he's like, all right, let's do it. Let's incorporate it into the business. And then I also had to show him that the installers that are buying from us are only, because that was another fear. He's like, I'm gonna lose business. My dad's very retail driven. Yeah. I'm gonna lose business. I was like, the people that are buying from you, let's pull up some of these clients that you're talking about, and you'll see that what they're buying from you is like miscellaneous stuff. They're not coming to you and saying, I need 5,000 lights. Right. They're coming to you, they need 100, a male adapters, this and that. So then he saw that and he's like, all right, yeah, let's do it. Let's incorporate
he's also old school, so it's a lot of times it's not even the sales, the relationship.
Exactly.
You have to show him numbers for him to be like, all right, fine.
Yeah. So then...
how big of an accomplishment personally for you is it to like show a old school, successful, numbers and business driven person that also happens to be your dad, that the business that you came up with is actually good?
Is profitable and it has potential. It felt really good. I mean, some of the best text messages and phone calls that I had, like when that started to happen, where I was getting very commercially involved, was when a installer would text him or call him and say, hey, you just took, I do an office building up north that's like 1 million square feet and a huge 40-foot tree outside and a bunch of different, decor displays outside. And he gets a phone call from a guy that says, you took this from me. And then he calls me and he's like, hey, you're shaking it up out there. Keep doing what you're doing because I like these phone calls. So you're doing something good if I'm getting these phone calls and you're taking, how big is that contract? And I was like, oh, that's close to $250,000. And it was the first year that I got in that contract. So then those were some of the fun texts and the rewarding texts and phone calls that I was like, I'd go to some pre-bid meetings and like for the airport, and I walk in with my Christmas Palace logo, and 2 installers that buy from us see my shirt. You guys do installs now? Yes, sir. And I'm a low key. I like to go under the radar. Like I'm here to try to win the bid. Like I'm not here to talk. I don't want to know who you are. You don't even know who I am. Like let's just whoever wins the bid wins the bid. And they would make faces like they were not liking that idea.
You were stirring the pot, bro.
Stirring the pot.
You shook up an industry. Yeah, that's amazing.
So at that time, so it was fun. Those texts and those interactions with other installers were fun. And I kind of tried to turn that over the years because I can't install every job in the country. Right. Like even if I want to, we could, grow in Florida, of course, and things like that. But I've also tried to tune into wholesale. So that's something that I kind of brought into the business because my father was always retail and I'm more commercial. Right. So I need large displays. Yeah. So then I started bringing in, a container, 2 containers in for me, for the install division. And we'd always bring in extra because, to fill a container and get the best price, you got to meet an MOQ and things like that. So then he would try selling it and he'd sell out of it every year. Like, dude, this big stuff sells. So then we would bring in mixture for me, mixture for the store, sell out fast. And then I started wanting to pursue providing the installers, being a teammate with the installers. Like, we don't need to compete. We can work together in a way, right?
Exactly.
Like, if you get this job, I can sell to you, you know,
At
maybe I shouldn't say this,
yeah.
but like on the back end, like, hey, if I'm bidding on this job, don't go underneath me. Like, stay, you know, we'll work it out.
Yeah, you can work out a gentleman's agreement.
A gentleman's agreement. Let's work it out. So, like, so we started pursuing the wholesale division, and you know, I can ship all across the country. I can't install in California. I can't install, you know, unless, you know, there's a lot of funding that would be involved in that, getting an office, hiring salespeople. Right, so the route that I saw was I could sell to everybody.
But and I mean, from where I sit, it's the smartest thing you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So I rather sell, you know, to every installer, or to all the jobs, than try to install every job.
Because you're not going to get every install, but if you could sell to every job, you're essentially generating revenue from every light getting installed. Yeah, you can make maybe more on the install, but to your point, you're not going to get all of them.
Yeah, and I've always been taught from my father, everything is volume. Yeah. So relationships, singles, doubles, you know, I don't try to hit home runs. Yeah. And I've made a lot of friends with the installers now. So like every season I meet a couple that come into the store, and I can just tell by what they're asking for that it's not a residential client, right, that they're an installer. And I've been building up the wholesale division, and along with our website, and we also have a B2B, business to business website. So we've been working on building on our wholesale, not just being retail operated. That's awesome. Brick and mortar.
That's awesome. So is that what your day-to-day looks like now? Kind of involved a little bit more on the lighting side and LEDs or us, or are you kind of involved on both sides, still the retail side as well? What does that look like for you?
Oh man, I'm involved in a lot of the purchasing. So overlooking, you know, lights and big decor pieces. And that's kind of like, that's what I focus on, is wholesale buying. And then my father, who's been doing it for 34 years, focuses a lot on the retail buying, you know, the ribbons and the themes. And, you know, we have designers, so he'll go with designers and have his meetings, and then I'll just review with my team and see what we're going to buy for that's new, and try to be different, because in the industry, everything is kind of like stale.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, my next question is like competition. Like,
yeah. So like in the industry, like if soldiers are soldiers, everybody has the same colors, and for the most part, obviously there's unique items that people, you know, have patents on, or you know, different things that come, but it's not like an influx or an overflow of unique items. You don't see
it often, yeah.
Yeah. So I focus on, you know, customizing displays so that we're not the same. We don't have the same colors, and we have to stand out some type of way. And trying to find, you know, unique displays, you know, LED, RGB, color changing, you know, things that just have different functions and are different than what's out there. Gotcha. So I focus on that buying side of it. My father focuses more on the retail buying side of it. And
more traditional side, obviously.
Yeah. So then, you know, we make a good team.
Who's your main competitor? I mean, you guys, I don't know. I mean, other than like buying on Amazon or Walmart or something like that, but I know your clientele is good clientele. And every time I went there, you guys, like, I think we met, October maybe, or like September. And I was like, people, I mean, maybe you have somebody shopping for Christmas. But not really. And there was people there, and I'm like, oh shit, like people are actually shopping for Christmas early.
Yeah.
Which goes back to obviously your presence in the community and being around for so long. But is there anybody that actually, at least locally here in South Florida, that competes with you?
In locally, there's, you know, smaller scale, you know, warehouses and like little storefronts that will bring in a couple niche, like a couple niche trees, but you know, they're more into like, you know, home decor.
Right. So
it's kind of like an add-on sale for them, right. Whereas, you know, we are full-time, 24/7, 100% Christmas with, you know, and we have about 100,000 square feet of warehousing, and soon to be increasing. So locally, I mean, I don't say this in any like, you know, type of way. I wouldn't say that on the at least on the retail side of it, we don't really have a competitor that we're keeping an eye out on them. We kind of, you know, we kind of set our own standard, and I think we're the only local Christmas store of its size and with its with all the options that we have, the variety that we have.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
What do you think the key? And obviously, this is a great question. I would love to ask your dad one day, but from your perspective, what is the key to having that type of business for 34 years, successful the way you guys have?
making it like a family, keeping, a lot of the employees in the Christmas Palace have been there for over 20 years. And I think that goes from the management side of it and just, we don't treat employees like they're an employee. We treat them like their family because they are a family. They've been part of the business for 20 some years. They've been, part of the growth, part of the passion, part of the hard work. So I think it being family like oriented and
great answer.
And I think that's what really has.
For sure, because I think, and I don't think you could have answered that any better, because the reality is that we can talk about products and this and that, but like anybody can get a product and put it on the shelf.
Yeah,
if you have
and
some
investors,
asshole that has money says that he wants to compete with you, technically he can, but in my short experience, because obviously I'm 33 years old, I was even born when your pop started the company. Yeah. But
to that point,
people's
like,
everything, bro.
Yeah, like at that point is like there is competitors, right? Like so, there's Christmas tree companies that sell artificial Christmas trees on the online, and obviously the way that Amazon the market and the world is going, everything is about convenience and making it easier. Which hence why we really have put our website at the top of the list and trying to grow it and push it. 100%. And so like there's competitors across the country, locally. There's smaller scale, storefronts and things like that. But across the country, like in Pigeon Forge, they have some type of, retail
what
operations.
What I find impressive, bro, is 34 years it's a long time, bro.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of shit can go wrong in 34 years.
Yeah,
you could do really good for fucking 10 years, and then the 11th year, everything goes south, and bam.
Yeah.
And I love the people comment before we continue, because if you can get the team to buy into the vision, which is hard to do, bro.
Yeah.
It really is. Dude, you guys can build something special what you have. And I've seen it firsthand a couple times I've been there. Like, yeah. Like there is a family feel, like Cabecita coming and the ladies, and everybody says hi. And obviously you're in a Christmas store, which just makes people happy. Yeah. As it is. So it's got to be a nice job. Yeah, it's a true testament to obviously the culture you guys have built and what you've been able to do, obviously coming in, because I think some of it was very interesting for me to interview Zach yesterday, and I'm getting the same feeling and feedback today. It's hard when people want to go into the family business. Yeah, it really is, especially because the difference in like the generations, because obviously there's going to be an age gap, because your dad's your dad, but generationally speaking, it's way different, bro. Like the way that we were raised compared to maybe the way your dad was raised, and his perspective on how things should work. And even if you were raised by him and you have similar values, you're around other things. So I see personally, I try to work with my dad, it didn't work out. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of like sons or daughters that try to go into the family business and they quit. Yeah. And they quit, and it's not because, trust me, it's not out of a lack of love from the parents. The parents love the shit out of their kids. It's just they don't see eye to eye, bro. So yeah. And
that we've had challenges, like with the old school mentality, and this how the saying goes: if it's not broken, why fix it? Yeah. So don't fix what's not broken, however it goes. And so there's been times where I have an idea or a difference of opinion, and the old school mentality comes out. Yeah. And basically I had to learn ways around that and how to work it so that he would be open to listening or think about it with an open mindset, instead of trying to clash with him. Gotcha. and bang my chest out man to man. Like, he's my father. Yeah. He's going to bang his chest right back. Hey, you're my son. Mm-hmm. So instead of going around it with emotions, I kind of figured out how to do it politically, right, and, in a business sense. So awesome. Let's take it to a vote. If I want to change the campaign, the billboard campaign for the locals, let's take a vote. You don't want to change that? Okay, that's fine. Let's call a meeting. All the managers in the room.
Who votes?
The managers.
Got it.
So our website manager, our store managers.
But it takes a special type of personality to accept that. Yeah. As a vote. I'll be honest with you, we run a democracy until you say you don't want to do what I say. It's no longer a democracy. Yeah. But for him to accept that's.
But he's very open minded, so he may have his way, or his way of being or thinking, or but if we, like I said, it's very family oriented. So if he's outvoted, it's like, hey, I gotta listen, because, I may be the owner and the CEO, but this is something that we've built together.
Right.
So
you guys have his best interest at hand, honestly.
And we all care and we're all passionate about what we do. So it's like, all right, let's give it a try. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. It didn't do as planned. Gotcha. We can fix it later. Yeah. So taking things to a vote, knowing how to approach him, and just not going about different subjects and with emotions and just factual. He's a very visual person. So like, put it on a presentation. Let's discuss it. Show me numbers. Show me proof. Show me studies. And take it to a vote.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. So, all right. What else, Brandon? What's next? Like, do you want to continue to just scale the company? Do you have other businesses that you like? Are you looking, like, what's your plan?
My plan is to scale the company always. I was born into the business, and I love the Christmas business. Mm-hmm. Although when it gets hectic, it's like, oh my God.
You love it except for Christmas.
Yeah, it's a love-hate relationship because when it's hectic and you're sending out 600, 700 orders and hopefully growing out of a warehouse for the website, and you got installs going on, you got wholesale clients calling, it's a very quick business. So you have 50 days, 60 days to capitalize and grab as much as you can, right? So it gets a little crazy, but I still want to scale the business and make it more efficient. So putting the right people in places, having proper processes and procedures. So that's the way to scale. So I definitely want to scale, and I do have another business where I invest into real estate.
Gotcha.
So
you can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. So I'm building my real estate portfolio little by little. Nice. And intelligently, not just buying, trying to find really good deals. So that's something that I focus on, early in the morning or late at night, looking at emails, have a property manager. So that's like a side thing that I do for my retirement, or something to pass down to my kids.
Gotcha.
That they don't have to worry as much.
Smart. And so real estate is obviously the smartest thing you could do.
Yeah.
I think scaling is interesting. Did you and Zach talk?
Yeah.
Did he tell you that he said efficiency?
No, we didn't talk about the podcast. But,
you gave me similar answers, but it goes to show also, like, you guys are like both involved in business. I think every business owner wants to be more efficient.
Yeah,
in your defense.
Absolutely.
In your defense, sure. You're never efficient enough. But
yeah, so investing in the proper people, and that's where it all comes down to. You're as good as your team. I'm a big 100%. Believer of that. So I don't want to do things for the inexpensive route. I'd rather pay a little bit more because it's going to pay out much. No, I'm with you. Efficiency. So
yeah, bro, you need it. Time is far more important than money. Like, you can make money back. Like,
that's for sure.
You waste $1,000, you half an order probably covers it, whatever. You could just make an extra order and you'll get it back. If you lose 2 hours of your time, there's not enough orders in the world that are gonna get you those 2 hours back. So
for sure,
I'm with you, dude. Speaking of time, so obviously busy season is 60-day window, but you guys work year round, from my understanding.
Yeah. What
does your quote unquote not busy season look like at the Christmas Palace, and at all the companies, not just the Christmas Palace?
Well, LED. I'll go to the LED company just because it's part of it. Well, my brother actually bought the LED company from my father. Nice. And closed on it in September, October.
Congrats
of 2024. So it's a family business that was part of the family, right?
That's a true businessman. He sells it to his kids.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he helped build it, and towards your point of working with family, they are very similar, very, very similar. So the clashing and difference of ideas, and just eventually was like, you know what? I'll buy it. I'll buy it off you, and I'll take this off. I'll take it off your hands. My father was kind of like, my dad's getting old now, so getting older, not old, but he's getting tired, and he's doing other things. He has other businesses that he's doing as well. So it was kind of like, all right, I'll sell it to you, and I can focus on what he's doing right now at the moment, enjoying. Nice. So I still sell. I when I was working in the showroom, I built up a little network of contractors that still contact me, and our niche is to beat the price with quality. I mean, that's every business, right? Give you quality and try to be the best price at it. 100%. So with my network, I still sell. It's more of like a, you know, from my cell phone.
Right.
Because we have a proper team in place, quote department, you know.
So you get the call, you send it out to whoever, they get back to you with the numbers.
Yeah, if I got to do engineering work and get photometrics, if I got to get the quote out, you know, set up a delivery, it's all email based. So I help with sales as much as I can, you know, whatever, you know, opportunities present themselves. I don't really go out looking for them because I'm focused on what I do.
Of course.
So the non-busy season for LED would be, you know, summer. You know, kids and families are traveling, jobs kind of slow down, and then winter. Aside from that, they're busy all the time. And the Christmas business, we're busy year round, but obviously not to...
Right, you're generating most of your revenue.
Not during the money-making time, you know. So throughout January, we're doing sales. January, February, we're doing, you know, certain sales on products that didn't sell and, you know, trying to liquidate, you know,
whatever you can,
whatever we possibly can that we don't see was a fit for our brand or didn't do what we expected to do. And we have contracts with cruise lines where we refurbish and store their goods and then send it back to them in October for them to set up for the winter season. So we immediately after the sales and things like that in February, well, actually like the end of January, we start receiving the cruise ships back. And going through, you know, 40 ships of ship by ship. And we have a team of 10 people there and 10, 12, you know, designers and things like that. We rip through the stuff, we refurbish it, package it up, label it, store it away, and get it ready to ship it back out when they're ready. So that starts in, you know, the end of January, takes us up until May, June, which is perfect timing. As through February and March, we're doing the buying trips and visiting manufacturers and going across the globe and buying. So we have a team busy. We're also doing inventory throughout those months. Well, it takes us about 2 weeks to do inventory across all the stores, 2-3 weeks across all the stores in the warehouse. Let's call it a month because then there's recounts.
Right, of course.
So, and then by the time we're finishing up with cruise ships and inventory and, you know, fixing up the store and moving things around and doing sales, then we start to receive the products that we started buying in February and March, come June. So then that comes into receiving everything and distributing it to the 2 retail stores and housing it into the warehouse and decorating the stores with the new product.
Next thing you know, you're already in September. It's Q4.
By the time you're done receiving, and sometimes you're not done receiving because you're still getting things in October. You know, things get delayed, especially how cruise containers have been over the years.
And the ports and
and COVID and things like that. We've gone into November, December receiving items, which is not what we want, but sometimes you have no control.
You gotta pivot.
So by the time we receive all the new product, decorate the stores, redesign them. We redesign the stores every year, moving everything around. Nobody wants to go and see the same thing every year.
Yeah, because then it becomes stagnant.
Yeah, so you got to surprise them, right? Yeah. So by the time we're done redesigning the store and decorating and everything like that, it's September. Yeah. So like go time. Yeah. Let's go. Start getting into the motion of that.
I think people miss that. You know, like everybody thinks, oh, well, at least Brandon's lucky, right? He works a month or 2 months out of the year.
That's my favorite line. Oh, dude, you work 6 weeks out of the year.
2 months and then the rest of the year you're chilling.
We're still taking down Christmas decor right now in January.
The pre and post, it's obviously, it looks like it's hefty, and obviously success lies in preparation, and you guys obviously prepare a ton, which
how does the saying go?
I was still like, what are the odds that we get your pops?
Failure to plan is planning to fail.
Yeah. What are the odds that your pop talks to me one day in front of a camera? 1 through 10. 1 through 10. Just 1 through 10. You just have to say yes or no. It's 1 through 10.
1 through 10? Probably like a 1.
Okay. No, because I'm like, dude, Christmas.
Yeah, no, he hates the camera.
Yeah, no, and not just camera. It goes back like, I struggle. I'm trying to bridge that gap, bro. And I've made some money bridging the gap too. So, because you have people that are 40, 50, 60 who are, forget the camera. It's not even, maybe he hates the camera, but the old school people are more of like, I'm not going to tell you my secrets because I busted my ass for whatever, 30 years to come up with this. Yeah. And you just, you keep to yourself, you do what you need to do, and you make it successful as you can. The new wave of people younger than us, it's the opposite. It's, I know how to do something, I'm going to put it on a course. And I'm going to tell everybody how to do it.
Yeah.
Sell it or give it for free or give the value, because some people sell it for money. Some people sell it because they want to get like leverage and build their brand. But it's almost like the opposite, right? So it's how do you bridge those two generations?
Yeah.
Because one is an extreme. I ain't going to tell nobody nothing, even though like maybe somebody can figure some of it out, maybe not all of it, because experience is obviously the biggest teacher. And then on the other side is how do you not give away too much, the young kids, because you guys are watering down a lot of industries.
Yeah.
Telling everybody how to fucking do it. And then the people that know how to do it are getting screwed. But yeah, we're trying to find a middle ground.
Yeah. So he likes to be
reserved,
very, very reserved and private.
I see that.
And doesn't like to talk about things. So
all right, Pops, I'm gonna make you a formal invitation. We could turn the camera off. We won't post it, but I just want to pick your brain for 30 minutes. This is my formal invitation. I hope you accept it.
I'll work on it with you.
Yeah. You look at that camera.
He can use the help. I'm getting him over here. I'll help you with that.
No, I'll go over there, bro. It's okay. No cameras. But dude, just to wrap up, bro. I'll tell you what I've got in front of the story, and I wasn't sure what to expect, to be honest with you. Like I was like, I want to talk to him. He's cool, but I wasn't even sure how it's. I'm impressed. One, because you're very open about what you've struggled with, and that you overcame it. I think it's an inspiration to a lot of people, bro. And our goal is always to be able to at least touch one person. I always say, if we bring some value to at least one person that watches this, we did our job.
Yeah.
And your story can relate to a lot of people, bro, because we all deal with our own demons, and sometimes we do wait till it's too late to acknowledge them. So kudos to you, bro.
Thank you.
And just the way that, your perseverance coming up with the lighting company, the way that you've been able to get involved with all of the business, the way you've been able to coexist, the way that I could tell you love your last name and what it stands for, and what how you want to continue a legacy rather than fight against it, which I see so many family empires crumble over dumb shit.
A ton of them.
It's a testament to obviously the job your mom and your dad did raising you in their own way, and to how much you care, dude. And you have a family of your own, so hopefully you get to hand that down to them, bro.
Absolutely, that's
my favorite part. It's this exact yesterday of doing these podcasts. Yeah, we'll touch one life, hopefully, and we'll do our job, and God knows how many people watch, and maybe a lot, maybe not enough. But one day your kids are gonna watch this, because it's there forever.
Yeah.
And being able to show for them to see what dad was doing when they were little, before they were born, or whatever the case may be. It's going to be a wonderful thing to go back. I saw a bunch of VHS tapes when I was in Panama now, and I'm like, Dad, my dad was me before me. His man was recording everything, but in cassette tapes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, dude. So thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
thanks
you,
for
bro.
having me.
And I look forward to continue to grow our relationship, bro.
Absolutely. Definitely.